I think, Minister, that the term battle group isn't misleading at all. I think it is pretty much spot on. I think the key objective isn't actually a secret at all, that the EU battle groups were set up really to have a military force directly under the control of the EU political elite and the EU structures that are dominant there. And it is part of an increased militarisation across Europe, which I have to say you would be in the camp of the hawks in that regard, very much accelerating that process. And you are correct that it is not just the case of having the battle groups present, but there is an acute drive to have them actually deployed at the moment, along with the backdrop of an increased drive for increased EU military expenditure, precisely at a time, as Deputy Grove says, when austerity is reigning on the heads of ordinary citizens. Now, if you take the example recently of the Russian warplanes accused of incursions over Turkey and the Baltics, such an incident could actually spark an incident where the German battle groups would be deployed and Irish soldiers would be participating in such an instance. I would like to quote Romana Prodi when he talked about these issues, when he says, "When I'm talking about a European army or a battle group, I'm not joking. If you don't want to call it a European army, don't call it a European army. You can call it Margaret, you can call it Mary Ann, you can find any name, but it is a joint effort. The first time you have a joint, not bilateral effort at European level." And that's what we're talking about here. And an Irish entanglement in military alliances makes us complicit. It is an absolute affront to the citizens of this state who believe in our neutrality. It is part of a process which sees us joining the NATO Partnership for Peace, which everyone knows is a training ground for full NATO membership, and it goes hand in hand with our complicity in the daily use of Shannon Airport, in the revelations produced by Shannon Watch last week of the hundreds of permissions last year for overflights and landings for warplanes on the way to Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia, where innocent civilians are being slaughtered, and we are complicit in that process. And this is part of that, and it has no place with a country which proclaims its neutrality, and we will certainly be opposing it.